Hello, this is Carrie with Cookbook Divas, and today is another one of our free webinars. This one is meant for beginning cooks, and I consider myself a beginning cook because I'm just not a cook. I go out to restaurants, but I do cook at home and I do throw dinner parties, but I often cater them. But I have a problem with shopping for too many herbs and spices, and I end up buying random things like this Trader Joe's Ajika. What do I do with it? It's a Georgian seasoning blend. It looks interesting. I bring it home and then I don't use it. So today we're going to explore a whole bunch of books and resources and spices, and we're going to chat about it. And I'd love to hear what you think of which herbs and spices you buy too many of, etc. We're going to look through some cookbooks over here that might help us with our journey. And I have some websites that we're going to look at for reference too, such as the Raw Spice Bar page, which we can take a peek at. We are also on Amazon Live, where we're going to be chatting about the cookbooks and herbs and spices that are available for sale over there. Let me get a little chat started over at Amazon. Amazon Live. And we are Cookbook Divas. You can find us at our website, blog, cookbookdivas.com, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Cookbook Divas. Let me jump into my live channel here on Amazon. And there we go. Welcome to Herbs and Spices 101. All right, I initially tried to host this. I scheduled it for last Sunday at noon and then realized that's Easter Sunday, dummy. No one's going to be watching. Whoops. Okay. So I wanted to start off by saying that I am a huge believer that it's okay to use these dried, ground, packaged spices in your cooking. It doesn't make you a bad cook. There's snobby chefs on TV shows and competitions that are looking down, poo-pooing the home chefs, and they're going, oh, this is old and not as flavorful. They're right, but they're what we have. And I live in rainy Seattle, Washington, where I can barely keep my Trader Joe's basil plant alive because we don't have a lot of sunshine, and my plant is getting really annoyed at me. So I am trying to buy less herbs and spices, and I wanted to make sure you know that Trader Joe's herbs and spices are available on Amazon in case you don't have a Trader Joe's near you. I luckily have one very close to my house. I'm trying to buy less freaky herbs and spices I don't know what to do with. And so when I look through the way I really do cook at home, I make mostly Mexican or Italian food. So the cumin comes in handy because I make a lot of beans, and the oregano, which I'm trying to find an example of over here, comes in handy because I make a lot of Italian food, and then I use a ton of bay leaves because I make lots and lots of soup. I'm not saying I'm a gourmet chef or that anyone else besides me likes the soup, but I do go through a lot of bay leaves, and you can use them in Indian dishes as well. And I am a vegetarian, so I eat a lot of Indian food. So let's start off by looking through our first cookbook of the day, the Modern Spice Rack. It is a gorgeous one. It is on sale on Amazon today. I wanted to mention because it's 46% off today. Holy moly, dropping it down to $17 for those of you that like hardback books. For those of you that like blog references, I have one on the screen. It's over at Raw Spice Bar. And if you click on that one, it's going to go through a lot of the most common herbs, like what do you do with them? Because a lot of people don't know you put cumin in your beans, and they taste so much better that way. So the Modern Spice Rack is recipes and stories to make the most of your spices by Esther Clark and Rachel Walker. And we're going to do a quick flip through. And let me get the right window. Okay, just to show you what it looks like on the inside. They have recipes too. So it's not a general guide to what to do with each spice, but it's how to use the spices that you have to make flavorful dishes. It's a gorgeous cookbook. Recipes and stories to make the most of your spices. Hardy Grant is the publisher. The chapters are breakfast and brunch, weeknight supper, weekend feast, snacks and sides, something sweet, something baked. And you don't need this cookbook in order to learn how to use all your spices. You can just look it up on Google, grab a spice out of your cupboard like paprika, look at our webpage reference for what you would do with it other than put it on deviled eggs, right? So I just wanted to flip through the Modern Spice Rack really quickly because it is a great cookbook. It's 46% off today here on Amazon Live. We're going to look through some more cookbooks today, but I wanted to go over to this Raw Spice Bar webpage and chat about it for a second. Raw Spice Bar, spices and herbs. Global Spices subscription, it's a company, but we're just going to use their blog to find out about the spices and what you do with them. Help. I thought it was a really easy to use reference because sometimes when you go to blogs to learn about spices, they have a bunch of ads all over the place and newsletter pop ups, and it's not very easy to use it. So that's why I wanted to mention this particular website. And I'm going to see if it's going to let me copy it into the chat so that those of you on Facebook and YouTube are able to find it that way. Comments. Maybe I can post a comment. Okay. There is Raw Spice Bar. I'm going to open that up over here for myself as well, because we like a nice way to get a free review of what our spices are supposed to be. They start off talking about coriander, which is made from cumin seeds, nutty and typically added to spice blends. They're mentioning that you should toast it before you grind it. You add it to meat rubs or curries or breads. I didn't even think about using coriander in breads. They talk about star anise, which is not an herb or spice that I keep in my house because it's licoricey. I can't handle it. Smoked paprika, I'm always very curious about. They suggest to heat it in oil before using, and they use it on deviled eggs, but also in potato salad, roasted potatoes, and meat braises. I forgot that I could put it on roasted potatoes. What do you do with, let me see if I can grab it, turmeric powder, such as this one from Trader Joe's that's available on Amazon? What do you use it for? It is for Indian curries, lentil stews, and I do make a lot of lentils because I'm vegetarian and I need the lentils for iron and other things. I never thought to put turmeric in it. You use it in rice, of course, vegetables like onions and tomatoes. And over at the Raw Spice Bar, they recommend adding turmeric powder to smoothies, sauces, and baked goods as well. I don't eat a lot of smoothies, but this is not something I would put in a smoothie personally. They talk about allspice. They talk about nutmeg, and I do have some nutmeg in here that I have not used. Let me see if I can find it. Where did I put the nutmeg? Here it is. This is whole nutmeg, and it is available on Amazon. It's down in the carousel here. Let's see if I can find it. This company is Morton and Bassett, and it must be available besides on Amazon at a store near me because I have a lot of this brand, to be honest. So I hope that's the right one in the carousel. Don't know. I haven't used this very much. Mostly I use nutmeg at Christmas and I just grate it on top of hot cocoa for adults. Kids, no. But I don't think of what else to use nutmeg for. And so that's why I have this giant jar of whole nutmegs. Oh, it smells good. Yeah. I suspect you use it in baking. Let's see what this website says. It says stewed greens. Infuse it into mulling spices, tea, or coffee. Put it in custard or cream sauces, eggnogs, whipped cream, roasted vegetable dishes. Okay. Good to know. They say that in the US it's a classic baking spice, but you could grind it too. And this jar is going to last me forever because I don't grind it that often. So I want to do a little research and see how good is this really for? Like, it's not going to hurt you to eat it that way, but it might not be as flavorful as we would wish. I'm still on the Raw Spice Bar webpage. Ginger I'm allergic to, so I'm skipping that one because I never cook with it. But they mention that you can grind your ginger root weekly. They're talking about cumin. It's used a lot in Indian cooking with garam masala and tandoori masala, or they add it whole to black bean or carrot soups. Yum. Cardamom is something I don't cook with because I don't know how to use it, and it's related to ginger, so I'm assuming that I'm allergic to it, but let me know if you use it at your house. They use it in sweets and coffees. And garlic, of course, we all know how to use garlic. I'm not too worried about that. Granulated garlic is more biting and stronger than its fresh counterpart. Cinnamon, I don't cook with a lot because I'm allergic to it, but I do have it in the house, and I love buying Trader Joe's cinnamon stick jars, which are available on Amazon, because you can just put the cinnamon stick in boiling water and make your house smell really good at Christmas time. They're talking about the Indian spices like fennel seeds, nigella seeds, brown mustard seeds, black mustard seeds, etc. The only thing you can put yellow mustard seeds into smoothies or scrambled eggs, curries, salad dressings. I wouldn't put it into smoothies. I don't think I do a lot of savory smoothies, frankly. And they're talking about the East Asian spices like kaffir lime leaves, Japanese curry powder. This is stuff you wouldn't want to have cluttering up your cupboard unless you really are going to use it a lot if you do lots of East Asian cooking. Middle Eastern spices, sumac, saffron threads. I have some saffron threads over here. And of course, they're very expensive and hard to get a hold of. And I love that the saffron threads here by Morton and Bassett come in separate little containers. Oh, I've never opened this and cooked with it yet. I love making yellow rice. I must have been using my other one. I don't know if you can see inside this jar that I'm struggling to open up. I might have to get some scissors. Well, now we know they're nice and fresh. They're in cute individual little packages here to keep the saffron threads extra fresh. Okay, I can get one out and show you now. That was kind of hard. Oh, this is so cute. It's in this mini little container. Nice. So that's the Morton and Bassett saffron threads, which are in my carousel here somewhere. Kind of hard to see exactly where they're at. It must have been the one I had clicked on. Saffron is great for rice. You can use it in beans as well. The one that is I keep buying and not using is za'atar. And I have this one from New York Shook. And I'm not sure what to do with it other than I know it goes on my mezzo plates and tzatziki perhaps. Here it is. New York Shook makes a whole bunch of different Middle Eastern and Israeli type spices. This is a Middle Eastern spice blend and they use it on shawarma. And I don't often eat shawarma because I don't like grilled vegetables that much, and I'm vegetarian. I also love their packaging. It is gorgeous. This is $6.28 on Amazon, which is actually cheaper than I got it off the shelf at a store. I'm just saying. I discovered this interesting brand, Villa Gerada, and they are Middle Eastern spices like sumac, and they come in this cute little jars. I don't know if you can see the color of this. This smells good. I'm going to be so hungry after this live stream. They make a sumac. And here's something that I bought that I'm guilty of never using because I don't know what to do with it. It's Urfa Biber. But I was very curious and I bought it because I do make a lot of Middle Eastern food. It looks horrible. Oh, but it smells really good. And okay, I'm not going to say chocolatey because it's a savory spice, but it kind of smells like plums and chocolate. I don't know. I don't have the best sniffer in the world, which is why I was such a good nanny. So Urfa Biber, and then they also make Aleppo pepper, which is associated with Syria, and it's been hard to get Aleppo pepper because of war and refugees and all that. By the way, speaking of Syria, I just looked through a beautiful cookbook called Zatari, and it's cuisines of the Syrian refugees that are living in refugee camps and the recipes that they use. So this company is Via Jaraba, and it's Aleppo peppers, which are a little bit spicy, and Urfa Biber and sumac, which we're going to look up right now and figure out what on the heck would I use these for, because I bought them on a whim, and then I didn't cook with them, and that's very naughty. So let me look it up really quick. Urfa Biber. What do I do with it? Now I'm finding lots of references where to buy it. Okay, it's a Turkish chili pepper. Yes, it's a miracle spice, says Food and Wine magazine. It comes from the town of Urfa in the south of Turkey on the Syrian border. They use it for curing meats or pickling. And it starts off like something between a pretty big bell pepper and a poblano. What do we cook it with? It says it has notes of chocolate. I didn't imagine that. I'm so glad that I could smell that. It's a little bit oily. In Turkey, they mix it with cumin or sesame seeds or onion, and they use it on raw vegetables or to dress up something they bought at the store. It has acidity, heat, and saltiness. Okay. And what do we use Aleppo peppers? Uses. What do we use it in? Roasted chicken, seafood, salad dressing, or for topping off creamy yogurt-based dips to add a little heat. Yes. I wanted to show you some of my cheater street taco seasonings that I have for my boyfriend. They are by a company called Riega Street Tacos, jalapeno citrus for chicken, and verde pork for pork. I don't know what is in these spice mixes, but I cheat when I make my boyfriend meat tacos because I'm perfectly happy with my vegetarian tacos. And those are available on Amazon. Just FYI. Street tacos, $8.99. So let's look at the next spice book that we're going to talk about today, which is Cooking with Spice. It's a little bit of an older cookbook. It is From Allspice to Turmeric, Easy Recipes for International Flavor. Now, we are live today, so feel free to drop a note in the comments. Let me know which spice you cook the most with, and let me know if there's a spice that you bought that you haven't done anything with, and it's not just me shopping too much. So this cookbook is gorgeous. Cooking with Spice. Contents: A World of Spice, China and Southeast Asia, India, the Middle East and North Africa, Europe, Latin America and the Caribbean, and North America. I'm going to flip through really quick, just give you a preview, and then we'll look at a couple of things close up. This is a very short book, and they're showing you pictures of all the spices when they're ground, what they look like, aromatic spices, curry powder, spice up your dinner. We're going to start off with China and Southeast Asia. Here's a recipe for beef satay with coconut peanut sauce. And the spices that they're using are ground black peppercorns, minced yellow onion, minced garlic, red pepper sauce, toasted peanuts, cilantro, fresh but dried would have to work, wok seared salt and pepper shrimp. We're going to jump ahead to India. Cauliflower and potato curry. That looks good. And they're using ground cumin, ground coriander, mustard seeds, cardamom, turmeric, pepper. They're basically using the entire spice cabinet in this recipe. But cauliflower is a little bland. I could see why you would want to do that, for sure. Okay, curry spice chickpeas. And they're using garam masala, turmeric, coriander, cayenne pepper, and basically the whole spice cupboard. The Middle East and North Africa has a recipe for cumin-scented falafel. I actually had some falafel yesterday at an Indian restaurant. It wasn't dry. I was shocked. This one's using chopped yellow onion, chopped garlic, packed fresh flat leaf parsley leaves, baking powder, ground cumin, and chili flakes. Glazed carrots with coriander sounds really good. Butternut squash tagine. And that one is using yellow onions, tomato, dried currants, honey, ground peppercorns, sweet potato. Here is roasted vegetables with romesco. The spices they're using here are not a bunch: sherry vinegar, smoked paprika, grilled skirt steak with chimichurri. And I've recently been introduced to chimichurri. It's not something vegetarians run into a lot just because the types of foods you put on it. It's so garlicky and so good. North America, they're including us too. Here's a spice-crusted pan-fried fish shrimp boil with corn and potatoes. And the spices they're using are tartar sauce. That's not a spice. Corn, onions. Oh, Old Bay seasoning. Okay. So it's a very short cookbook. I have to take it back to the library tomorrow, actually. And the next cookbook we're going to look through is Cooking with Spices. And excuse me, I basically wiped out my library of all of their local spice books. 100 Recipes for Blends, Marinades, and Sauces from Around the World. It's by Mark Stevens. It is $6.99 for the Kindle version on Amazon, for those of you that cook out of Kindles or online. This is a really informative book. You're going to learn a lot. Not every recipe has a photo, so it's a better reference book. He's teaching us about grains of paradise, cultivation centers where it's grown, Ghana and West Africa for this one, aroma and flavor, medicinal uses, common forms, complements, and pairs well with. And Dhaka Egyptian dry rub. Let me look at the table of contents on this one. This book came out in 2018, Cooking with Spices. It's by Rockridge Press. And the table of contents are Chapter 1, The Power of Spices. Chapter 2, India, where we're going to learn about Ceylon cinnamon, green and pink pepper, white pepper, turmeric, nigella. Then Asia and the South Pacific, cassia, cinnamon, cloves, galangal, ginger, lemon peel, mace, etc. The Americas, we're going to learn about allspice, annatto, chiles, ancho poblano, guajillo, sassafras, vanilla. We're going to then go to Eastern Mediterranean, Middle East, and Africa for anise, coriander, cumin, grains of paradise, licorice root, poppy seeds, saffron, sesame seeds, and tamarind. And then the last chapter is Europe and the Mediterranean with caraway, celery seeds, which I always have in the house and never use because I don't know what to do with them, dill seeds, fennel seeds, fenugreek, horseradish, juniper berries. We use that for gin, of course. Mustard seeds, paprika, and sumac. So we'll just flip through this one more time. Not a lot of photos, but lots of recipes and information about how to use the herbs and spices, plus where they came from. That's cooking with spices. I wanted to take a second to show you the very naughty, expensive olive oils I bought for myself here on Amazon. We mostly use it for making lemon pasta. This is Olivier & Co. lemon olive oil, olive and citron presses. And then this one's a lot cheaper. It's the green lemon olive oil. I use these for dipping bread with lots of interesting salts and balsamic vinegar, or for making my lemon pasta. So those are green and yellow lemon olive oils from Olivier & Co. I wanted to grab, we're going to look through a couple more cookbooks, but I wanted to check out, we talked about cumin. We talked about, let me grab McCormick. Let's talk about cilantro. Who here loves cilantro? Who hates it? And I tend to grow it fresh in my backyard. I eat cilantro. It's not my favorite, but I use dried on hand when I don't have the fresh nearby, and I'll make 2 different versions of the same dish for my friends who like cilantro and those who don't. It's kind of polarizing, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. And I have it available here on our Amazon shopping list. Here's a spice I don't personally use very often, ground ancho chile. It does taste good. I'm trying to find it in the carousel here. There it is. Too spicy for me, but it adds so much flavor to my boyfriend's tacos, or I'll put a little bit of it in his chili that I make for him with beef. I make my own vegetarian. And I occasionally will throw this into the Spanish style rice that I make, but not too much of it. And I like this company, Morton & Bassett, because this is gluten-free, obviously, non-GMO, salt-free, because if I want salt, I will add the salt. And this still smells good and fresh, and I do tend to hang on to spices longer than I should. I think a lot of us are guilty of that because I paid a lot of money for it. I want to use it, but you use so little of it. I wanted to chat about Trader Joe's Mushroom & Company multi-purpose umami seasoning blend. This is great for vegetarians because we do need a little bit more umami flavor. I make a lot of tofu and soups. That's mostly what I use this for. You can put it on roasted veggies too. I'm not sure the spice blend. Ground mustard seed. I need glasses for this. Too small to read. Black pepper, dried thyme, onion or mushroom powder. So it's kind of a shortcut blend. And it's from Trader Joe's, and you can get it on Amazon pretty affordably, $8.20, and you won't use it up as quickly as you think unless you eat tofu and roasted veggies every single day. You can also get Trader Joe's organic. You can get bay leaves, parsley, rosemary, all that good stuff. I use a lot of the parsley dried when I can't get fresh from my backyard. Hello, Miss Addison. We're talking about herbs and spices today and how I grow them in my backyard, but it's Seattle, and so it's rainy, and I can't always have enough sunshine. I wanted to mention this company available on Amazon. It is Falk Salt Crystal Flakes. This is the citron version. They are giant chunks, and I just kind of crumble them or use them in a quick grater to put them over my lemon pasta when I make that, which is about once a week. But I've had this jar for a very long time. It's not going bad, but I barely use any. So I kind of wish they would sell them in smaller containers. But it's an entire brand of fancy specialty salts. You can use them with bread or pasta or on roasted veggies. And this lemon is good on roasted veggies too. So I wanted to mention that. I wanted to mention Trader Joe's smoked paprika. It is more affordable than some of the other brands. It works perfectly well. But again, I don't go through a lot of it unless I'm making deviled eggs, potato salad, or certain types of bean soup, which is where I personally use it. And you can use it on scrambled eggs, but not everyone would want to. Here is something I use: citrusy garlic seasoning blend from Trader Joe's. I put it on roasted veggies, and I occasionally put it on corn, but I'm more likely to do chili lime on my corn. And it's a citrus and allium blend with salt. So it has garlic, and it's just kind of a cheater. Toss it on stuff, great on roasted veggies. It's Cuban style, so you could put it on your beans as well. And it is available on Amazon. Let's move on to another spice cookbook. Oh, and I wanted to chat about the next website that we're going to look at, which is, oh, we already did raw spice bar. Whoops. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong page. Okay. I wanted to show you the kitchen's quick guide to every herb and spice in the cupboard. It's a wonderful reference page also. You can learn a lot. Grab a spice out of your cupboard or an herb, go look it up on this website. It'll tell you so many ideas for where to use it. So I wanted to be sure to give you access to that address too. And if I have to hide it to cut and paste it, I will put it into the comments so it'll be clickable over on Facebook and YouTube where people are watching us right now. Okay, and I'm going to show that again. I'm going to drop it into the chat and the comments so it is clickable. That is The Kitchen, which is a great food reference website. Lots of stuff going on over there. The other reference I wanted to mention is, of course, let me grab one of their spices. McCormick. They are like the spice masters, and now I can't find one. I know I've got one here. There it is, McCormick Tarragon. They have an entire part of their website about all of the herbs and spices, the origin. They have some, like how they were used in history or why they were named the names that they have, how to use them, some scientific info about the plant that none of us probably care about. It is a wonderful website resource over at McCormick. And they're a major spice company. You can find their spices in every supermarket, as well as here on Amazon, of course. Now I want to find my McCormick listing. I buried it. It's hard to find it. I don't know where it is. Well, I'll have to find it later. My shopping carousel is a little bit crazy today because there's so much going on. McCormick, there it is. I don't know what to do with tarragon, so I'm going to look it up at the McCormick Science Institute myself. Science Institute, tarragon. I know it's a French herb. I grow it, but then I have it and I don't know what to do with it. Help. Tarragon is one of the culinary. Okay. It is. I'm having trouble finding it now. What to use tarragon for? I'm going to guess chicken. Scrambled eggs, roasted chicken, pesto, and fish. I guessed right. It has a light licorice taste with citrus notes, which is probably why I haven't used it, because I don't like licorice. No, actually, yep, that's very licoricey. That is very. They recommend using it on lemon salad dressing or dip, on pan-fried or baked chicken and fish, or summer roasted vegetables. Okay, I don't do licorice personally, but some of you guys might. Miss Addison over on Amazon is chatting that they are sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Feel better, drink some tea. You know how to take care of yourself. I just wanted to give you some good best wishes over there. So I love the McCormick website. Thank you for the hearts. This is actually a webinar that we're doing over on the Cookbook Divas YouTube and on StreamYard. We had people sign up for it a couple weeks ago, so we appreciate having them here. And it is free, so if you don't like it, please don't complain. I'll try to do a better job next time. Going live is always a little nerve-wracking because I might mess up. I want to show you guys this giant encyclopedia of seasoning cookbook, which is on sale. It's 14% off on Amazon. It's very heavy, so I'm not going to hold it up for very long. I'm actually surprised they let me check this out of the library because it's massive. It's more like a reference desk book. Through 500 marinades, rubs, glazes, sauces, base, and butters for every meal. Anything you want to know about seasoning is in this giant book. And they go herb by herb by herb, spice by spice by spice, and they tell you all about it, but then they give you amazing recipes. And look at the photography. I want to cook everything in here. It is so inspiring, and it probably needs to end up on my bookshelf. I'm going to have to buy it. So this came out in August 2023, at which point my library grabbed it. It's the Encyclopedia of Seasoning. It's by Cider Mill Press. They make a lot of excellent cookbooks. They're showing us all these spices. The chapters are rubs and seasoning blends, marinades, brines, base and glazes, sauces and stocks, dressings and infused oils, condiments, spreads and butters, and then an index. Ow! So this is sweet maple barbecue glaze and how to make it, and some kebabs, dill and coriander marinade, rosemary, lemon, and olive oil lamb marinade. I'm jumping ahead. We're still in the sauces. Here's a recipe for Cucina de Cerdo marinade, smoky jerk marinade, chipotle and adobo marinade. So it's just a massive, and I'm not going to spend much more time holding it up so I don't get a neck ache, but it's an invaluable reference and cookbook. But it's going to take up a ton of room on your shelf. And I wanted to mention it today because it's 14% off here on Amazon Live. The next cookbook we're going to look through is The Grammar of Spice. It's very unusual. This is also a library book that I need to take back. It's by Thames and Hudson. Came out in 2018. And it basically just goes through a ton of spices I've never heard of, like wattle seed and achiote, which I have heard of, papaya seed, safflower, caraway seed, carob, Indian bay leaf, etc. And then there's no color photographs of recipes. It's decorative ornamentation, but you learn about the spices. Urfa chili flakes, which I was holding up earlier because I didn't know what to do with them. For example, here it is, the Urfa Bieber chili. Here's a page on what to eat it with. They say eggplant. Try it on homemade flatbreads, they suggested. Plating, it's from Turkey. And designs and the history and the science behind the plant. So this is kind of a nerdy book for science nerds, poppy seed, and for history lovers. So there's no actual photos of the spices, but it was so unusual, I wanted to show it to you, and we'll flip through one more time just to give you an idea of what this is like. So it's kind of an ornamentation book, but it's also history and science of herbs and spices and how to use them. So that's going to be fun to read through later. And it's a rainy Sunday night. I might as well sit around reading cookbooks. That's kind of what I do. 1,000 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Next, Spice Kitchen. Oh, I love this one. Oh my gosh, I'm going to freak out. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these herbs, spices, etc. And I'm going to get, I think we're done with those banners. Just making sure I showed you all of the spice references. I think I did. Okay. Yeah, I think I did. So we're going to put our Cookbook Divas address across the bottom for you. This is Spice Kitchen, vibrant recipes and spice blends for the home cook. It's by Sanjay Agarwal. It came out 2023 in November. It's pretty new. Hardy Grant is the publisher. The contents are simple lunches, midweek dinners, messy and casual, fancy dinners, Sunday lunch, drinks and snacks in our kitchens, and dips and chutneys. So I'll flip through really quick some of the delicious things in here. Now I'm getting hungry. Oh my gosh. And I'm very curious to see what spices they're using. Introduction, equipment that you're going to need. On a really serious note, I can't read that because my ring light is making me blind. Making use of your freezer, store cupboard essentials, spice blend origins. We're going to learn a lot. They're talking about Chinese 7-spice, Berber, Baharat, Cajun spices. They're talking about jerk, Ras Al Hanout, Sri Lankan curry powder, Mexican Tex-Mex, Italian seasoning, harissa, garam masala, gingerbread, speculoos, etc. So this is a quick word on chiles, and I have to customize it for myself a lot because I'm such a wimp. Here is a recipe. This is spiced peach and goat's cheese salad using peaches, honey, and Italian seasoning, which shocks me. Are you serious? Wow. Olive oil and water. This is Cajun style potato and chorizo hash. And they are using an onion, Cajun blend, chorizo, potatoes, cloves, and fresh rosemary. Sprouts with egg noodles and togarashi and mushrooms on toast. They're using Chinese sesame paste over there and za'atar over here. This is the simple lunches chapter. I just jumped ahead to za'atar chicken with hummus, a very Mediterranean and Middle Eastern dish. Quick rajma. Mom makes this fragrant and lightly spiced Punjabi dish about once a fortnight, the author writes, because she uses canned kidney beans. It takes no time to cook and is packed full of protein. It's using ginger garlic paste, passata, which is strained tomatoes, harissa, Sri Lankan curry powder, garam masala, kidney beans, water, and rice. This is Togarashi tofu curry ramen, which would be vegetarian. We're looking through the Spice Kitchen cookbook for those of you just joining us now. Seeing lots of yummy things. I jumped ahead because I wanted to show you Ethiopian chicken and egg stew. And it is spiced with butter, ginger garlic paste, coriander, and perfectly fluffy rice is what you serve it on. This is the fancy dinners chapter. Ooh, look at that. Chili paneer, and they say Sakoni style. I don't know what that means. So tandoori masala, cloves, green chili, harissa, vegetable oil, butter, bell peppers, chopped fresh coriander. And this is Mama Spice's Dal Makhani, lentils. So this is Spice Kitchen. It's definitely Indian-oriented, vibrant recipes and spice blends for the home cook. And it's on sale on Amazon today, 29% off, dropping it down to $22. Excuse me. I have a bunch of spices that I'm sniffing, and they're making me sneeze. Here's another good spice and herb cookbook, Spice Box Kitchen. Those of you who signed up for the webinar who are watching, feel free to drop some chat or comments over in the StreamYard chat room. Spice Box Kitchen is by Linda Shu, who's a doctor and a chef. Eat well and be healthy and globally inspired with vegetable-forward recipes. So we'll take a quick flip through this, and then we'll look at the table of contents. And my camera is kind of washing out the book a little bit. Katie's here! Katie's excited to see it, and here I am with a washed-out cookbook again. Me and my lighting issues. Woo! We have gone through a bunch of the spices in the carousel, but it was hard to see which spice was which, so I didn't always have the right one. We're looking through Spice Box Kitchen by Linda Shu. It came out in May 2021. And now I'm really hungry for Middle Eastern food from all the spices I was looking at. So the chapters in this book starts off Healthy Cooking 101, building blocks, greens, grains, and more. Part 2 is recipes, California, breakfast, salad, soups, and starters, sides, and mains. Desserts and sweet things, pantry, sauces, pickles, California menus. And then we go to Asia for breakfast, salads, soups, and starters, sides, mains, desserts and sweet things in the pantry. And then we go to Mediterranean and the Middle East for the same chapters, breakfast, sides, mains, desserts, pantry. Woo! And then we go to Trinidad for breakfast, salads, soups, and starters, sides, and mains, etc. So we'll just flip through one more time. Healthy eating, using lots of herbs and spices. But I see a lot of comfort food in there and vegetable forward. So that is Spice Box Kitchen. This is due back at the library soon, so I'm going to have to explore it tonight. And I believe we just have one cookbook left, Spices and Herbs Encyclopedia. So I need to find where I put that in here it is. This is Padma Lakshmi, who you might remember from early seasons of Top Chef, where she was a judge. She is a food and cooking expert and a chef and a genius, etc. This is her book, Spices and Herbs, An Essential Guide to the Flavors of the World. And I could be wrong, but I think it's a little bit older. She also wrote this with Judith Sutton and Calliu Stans. Don't know who that is. This is a little bit older. It came out in 2016. I'll do a quick flip through. It is gorgeous. Oh, it's stunning. And back in 2016, they liked this real close-up photography. It's a style that they did that year in particular. And sometimes in 2017. But that way you get to see the food close up. And it looks like it's going alphabetically through the spices and the herbs. So that's great. Let's jump in. Spices, herbs, and beans from A to Z. Let's start off with A. Why not? Ooh, pretty photography. So here's all this ground spices. Achiote, she says C anato. Advia, other spellings, Advia. It's a Persian spice blend that includes cumin, blah, blah, blah. Adjuan, just going through all of the herbs and spices. Here's the Aleppo chile, which I have a jar of on my desk right now. Allspice. Here's Amchur, botanical name, other names, forms, whole dried slices, etc. So we're learning about all of these, but not necessarily having any recipes yet. Medicinal uses they're mentioning as well for the herbs. Here's anise, forms that can come in, what to use it in, etc. So it's just basically a giant reference book, not a cookbook. But it is stunningly gorgeous and inspires me to use the spices and herbs I have on hand. Katie says, gorgeous photos over on Amazon. Yes. So that is the final spice book we're going to look through. And we looked through several of them today. We chatted about some of the herbs from brands like New York Chouk, the Zatar. Gorgeous packaging. You can see that it's very botanical. And I have not cooked with this yet. It smells good, though. It's very inspiring to go make some tzatziki and sprinkle it on today. We also chatted about the Via Gerada brand and the unusual Urfa Biber and Aleppo peppers that are available here on Amazon. We talked about street taco seasoning spices. We didn't have any questions from our webinar attendees, so I'm probably going to cut the webinar short and finish it. And thank you for signing up. Over on Amazon, I wanted to thank our chatters, Katie and Miss Addison. Hope you feel better, Miss Addison. And I am off to do some more live streams on my other blogs. I have 5 viewers right now. Thank you so much for coming. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.